Good afternoon. With the Euros almost upon us, the Lionesses shot out a warning sign to the rest of the continent with a top-class performance against the reigning champions, the Netherlands.
The Euros hosts take on the Euros holders. Helped on and helped in, and it had to be Lieke Martins. Bronze clips it right in. Penalty to the Dutch. She can't take the chance. And what a response. It's England who take the lead. Still Toon looking for the corner. Finds it. That is glorious from Lauren Hemp. Mead sets herself, scores. It's 5. A real marker laid down here by the Lionesses.
Well, it was a really impressive second-half performance that saw England pretty much dominate the Netherlands. Now Serena Wiegman has just one game left before the Euros kick off in 6 days' time. And today, they take on fellow Euro 2022 finalists Switzerland in Zurich. Kick-off is 30 minutes away. Well, I'm delighted to be joined by ex-England internationals Eni Aluko and Ian Wright. Lovely to see you both. We will hear from you in just a second. But now we're going to get the team news because this is how Serena is lining up. It's actually 3 changes to the game that we saw against the Netherlands. Ellen White, she's back in the squad after recovering from COVID. She starts on the bench. Alicia Russo gets the nod in the number 9 role. Beth Mead, she gets her start today after coming off the bench against the Netherlands. She scored 2 goals in that game. Lucy Bronze is ill, so she's not involved. And it means Georgia Stanway's coming in midfield and Leah Williamson's going to drop back into that centre-back role. Let's get more on this team, how they're lining up today. Serena Wiegman, she's speaking to Katie Shanahan.
Serena, no Ellen White or Lucy Bronze in the starting lineup because they're still recovering from illness. Is that a precaution with the Euros in 6 days' time?
Well, of course you want them with you. Well, Ellen is with the squad, but she just started football training. She did train last week. Lucy didn't feel well, so she can't play tonight. Yeah, we want them in the squad, but at the same time, this is an opportunity for other players, and we can try out some other things and then review that and make decisions for next Wednesday.
Leah Williamson drops into centre-back. Is that an option you're looking to use more throughout the tournament?
Yeah, we've tried different things. Well, we tried both things. Leon midfield and now Leon back. And yeah, again, I think we can use both options in the tournament. And tonight we'll see. We want to see this opportunity.
Are you still making your mind up on a couple of places?
As always, yes. So what today is can change tomorrow in the game we play. But so far, I think we're pretty good. In a good place, and we know what opportunities we have when we want to change or how we want to start. So we do have many opportunities in place, in positions we can play.
Thanks, Serena. Best of luck tonight.
Yes, thank you.
There we go. So, talking about Beth Mead, because she started against Belgium and we didn't really see her at her best. Then when she came off the bench in the last game, Righty, she was really effective, wasn't she?
Yeah, but you know, Beth's had a fantastic season at Arsenal. I think that when she played against Belgium, unfortunately, she made a couple of chances which were missed. Ellen White missed a couple of chances from her, which would go down as, you know, as, obviously the assist. And she's come on here again and she's made a massive impact because that's what we know that she can do. But I think that it's, you know, having Chloe Kelly and Beth Mead is an unbelievable riches for Serena, simply because Beth sometimes, yes, you know, we saw her come on in that game and she came on the back post and scored that goal. Great set-up from Lauren Hemp. But then Chloe, well, me and Eni was talking about before, she seems to do more in the game simply because she's taking people on, she's making things happen. Whereas, like you see with Beth, you know, all of a sudden Beth gets taken off and everybody's going crazy with Chloe Kelly, rightly so, everything she's come back from. But Beth done her bit in the game, but she wasn't noticed simply because the chances weren't taken. But I do feel that Chloe, and she does more simply because of the amount she does in the game.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting catch-22, actually, with Beth at the moment, because we've seen games where she's come off the bench and had an immediate impact. You know, Northern Ireland game, she comes on at Wembley, scores a hat-trick. You know, the other day against Netherlands, she comes on and scores. But equally, you know, as Ian said, we've got Chloe Kelly, who, you know, is also competition, who also did well, has done well. So it's one of those situations with Beth now. Is it that she's a great substitute and adds to the depth? Or actually, does she deserve her chance to start today and can prove that she's actually a starter that's going to start that first game next week in the opening Euros? It's a really difficult place. As a striker, I know your job is to come on and do well if you're a sub. But equally, you want to start.
I think she's done more than enough to be able to get the start.
But let's see today, because I think now she's got a chance to start a week before the Euro starts. Now that gives Sarina Wiegman another problem in terms of what her starting team is.
We are seeing, Righty, a little bit of a trend where the Lionesses perform better in the second half. Is that an indication that we need to start better, or is it that we've just got so much depth that the impact doesn't make a difference?
Well, again, like we were saying, Annie was saying in agreement, we've got so much depth because the team, what they start with, especially against the calibre of teams we're playing, obviously Holland's very good in that, but some of the calibre teams, I think the teams that we're starting with, we should be starting better against them anyway. We should be starting better, but what's good about what Sarina's able to do is we've got so much depth. You can bring on players to make a change, because a Dutch team that won the Euros, they were very much the same 11, 12 kind of players they use. Now she's got so much depth, it's embarrassment of riches.
What about Alicia Russo? Because we've seen a slight change around in the number 9 role, and that might be because Sarina's hand was forced, because obviously illness comes into play. Beth England was the one that got the chance in the last game, and now it's Alicia's chance today. How much do you want to see from Alicia for her to really be pushing now?
Well, I think this is another great conversation around the depth of the number 9. You know, you've got Ellen White, you've got Beth England, you've got Alessia Russo. You've got 3 players there that can play in that position. I think they're all different players, though. Beth England, for me, didn't do well in the last game, didn't do enough to link the play, looked a bit lost at times in the game. Russo came on and did well, hit the bar. So I think Alessia deserves a chance. I think in the games, in the build-up games, she has done a lot as a number 9 to really show that she links in with the play. I know the players like her as well, believe in her, she trains well. So another player now to have the opportunity. I think Ellen White going into the Euros is that probably the first choice because of her experience, certainly for England, even though she hasn't played a lot of games for Man City. But Russo deserves a shot today, and it'll be interesting to see how she does.
I think it's tough for Beth, Annie, simply because the way that this England team play with the 2 wingers, and, you know, with the way that Beth plays for Chelsea, it's very difficult unless she changes her game and starts coming off, linking play and getting in the box for her to try and thrive in this. Whereas I think Alessia Russo, she can maybe come off and link and get in the box and maybe get some chances. And I'd like to have seen her get a couple more games. We know that Ellen White will start in the Euros as long as she's fit. So hopefully she could take a chance tonight.
All right, we'll see if she does do that. Now, don't go anywhere, because after the break, we're going to hear from the England goalkeeper, Mary Earps, on realising her dreams as the number 1 for her country.
Wonderful but unexpected U-turn. Yeah, and I'm just loving it.
Since Sarina Wiegman took over, England have played 6 teams who will feature in this summer's Euros, and they've beaten 5 of them, and that includes the Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, Austria and Northern Ireland. They also drew the favourite Spain. Momentum feels very much with the Lionesses. Now, one player who pretty much guarantees her name on the team sheet at the moment for the Lionesses is the Manchester United goalkeeper, Mary Earps. Katie Shanahan has been speaking to England's number 1.
Do you think you have to be a certain type of character to be a goalkeeper?
For sure, no doubt. You have to be really mentally strong. There's always a magnifying glass on you all the time. It's like a massive pressure cooker. I think it's the hardest position on the pitch, so I really enjoyed that challenge. That sort of never-ending pursuit of excellence.
Did you ever think that you would be the number 1 goalkeeper?
Not of recent times, no.
What a save, Mary Earps! Come on!
Less than a year ago, Mary Earps believed her England career was over. She was out of favour and 4th choice behind Karen Bardsley, Ellie Roebuck and Carly Telford, before new coach Sarina Wiegman offered fresh hope.
Why did you think your international career had come to an end?
Just the things that had happened, sort of like the couple of years prior to that, and the way everything unfolded. I'd really made my peace with the fact that that was kind of it internationally for me. To have that belief from a manager, it goes such a long way. It's not something I've felt a lot in my career. It sounds so small, but it's such a nice thing to feel valued and feel appreciated. This year's taken such a wonderful but unexpected U-turn, and I'm just loving it.
How competitive is it between the goalkeepers then for that number 1 spot?
The group of goalkeepers are fantastic. Roebuck and Hannah have been unbelievable with me and with one another as well. We really are grafters, and I think we all have that mutual respect about us. I think it's a really, really, really great group.
It was a brilliant comeback in the second half against the Netherlands. What did that performance tell us about England?
Resilience and character were the two things. The disappointment we felt at half-time was purely because we were feeling like we were showing a shadow of ourselves. And then the second half, I thought we came out and it just seemed like it was just like...
And you would have saved that penalty, wouldn't you?
I feel like I saved it in spirit. That's what I said to my dad anyway. It was obviously a really big moment in the game.
Is that why there was such an animated reaction afterwards?
Yeah, I probably was quite hyped after it. I'm someone who wears my heart on my sleeve, and I'm a really passionate person, and I love goalkeeping, I love making saves, I love helping the team, and so that probably just poured right out of me.
Earps joined Manchester United 3 years ago and quickly began to leave her mark. A quote behind her shirt in the Old Trafford dressing room translates to "the stars through difficulties."
It's a quote that's always been quite special to me, and it's something that I've always come back to. Looking at the journey that I've been on, it resonates more than ever before. I debated on and off getting it tattooed on me, but never quite committed, and my parents would really be unhappy about that, to be honest. Maybe one day.
Maybe after the Euros?
We'll see.
If you're a hero?
We'll see.
The preparation has been excellent ahead of the Euros. What's the feeling within the camp right now?
It's really lively, it's really energetic. I think everyone's just really looking forward to getting going. The pressure that we've put on ourselves is purely to make sure that we're achieving our performance objectives and making sure that we're making the most of every day. Come 6th of July, we're ready to go.
Lovely, thank you very much.
No worries. Really nice interview with Mary Earps there. She did go the right way for the penalty, at least. So we understand what you mean. They're in spirit. She would have saved it in spirit. She did actually make a really good save, though, Annie, quite early on in that game against the Netherlands. This was at 0-0, and it was an important one.
Yeah, me and Wright have had a bit of a debate about this and how good the save was. But I think for me it's a good save because of the amount of bodies. You know, Mary's going the opposite way. She saves it with her leg. You know, I think, you know, maybe the striker could have put it in the corner and maybe it would have tested her more. But I think that's a good save at an important part of the game.
There was another moment in the game, actually, Alika Martin's goal. This was the only goal that the Netherlands scored. And for you, Righty, could she have done better at this point?
Well, I just think that she kind of gets a little bit stuck with her legs from when you look at it from this angle. So, of course, she's got to try and cover this side, but I think she's not... The feet, the movement of the feet could have been a little bit better because that's gone...
She's close to it, isn't she?
Yeah, it's gone in the middle of the goal. And I just feel that, for me, that one, because there's not been a lot of testing of her leading up to this point, you know, and I think Serena's been very faithful to her because she hasn't really let her down. But I would like to see some more in action a bit more.
I think it goes back to that depth point earlier is Hannah Hampton's on the bench, another fantastic goalkeeper who, you know, is pushing Mary Earps. So, you know, she's got the confidence of her manager, and I think that's really important. But there's also, you know, another good goalkeeper on the bench to keep pushing her.
A couple of really good goalkeepers on the bench, Ellie Roebuck as well, that she was saying that actually having those two in the squad, they know there's a lot of healthy competition there, right?
Yeah, there is, and I think Anna Hampton, I'm watching her against Spain, I thought she'd done fantastically. Yeah. And, you know, with Ellie, the reason why Mary's got her chance, she's taken it, let's face it, for England. We've had some games that you have to say have been pretty easy for us, but she's taken her chance. She's in there simply because Serena probably trusts her now. But, yeah, Ellie Roebuck's somebody that I feel that people believe maybe should be the #1, but Mary's got the shirt at the moment and she deserves to have it, I think.
Absolutely, and she starts tonight. We'll see how they get on shortly. Don't go anywhere. After the break, England prepared to take on Switzerland. Now, they're ranked 20th in the world, and it is the final warm-up game ahead of the Euros. 11,000 expected today at Letzigrund, which is a home record. Welcome back. Kick-off is just a few minutes away. England in their last match before the Euros kick-off. They're in Zurich at the moment. They're going to play Switzerland later. And Annie, for you, what sort of challenge does Switzerland represent?
Well, they're going to be well organised. They've got some good players that I'm sure the England players are used to. Like, you know, Leah Warty in midfield, very good player. You know, she will be the engine for Switzerland. And I think Switzerland, this is going to be a great test for them. They've got a really difficult group at the Euros with Portugal, Sweden and Netherlands. So it's going to be a good test for them, but they will be organised. They'll know how to dictate play. You know, they've got talented players in Ramona Bachmann and Maritz as well. So it's going to be a good test for England, but also a good test for them.
Yeah, what does Serena Wiegmann want to see from the Lionesses, do you think, Righty?
Well, I'd like to hope that we can get hold of the ball a bit more in the midfield and get Lauren Hemp going, get Beth Mead going. I think coming up against Maritz, who I saw her play against, Lauren Hemp play against her twice this season, and she's done very, very well against her because she could go right foot, Maritz, she could go left foot. So it's going to be interesting to see if they shut her down, because I thought that that's what happened with us, with the Netherlands. We couldn't get the service to her, and we kind of looked a bit shut down. So I'm sure she'll be looking to get the ball to the wingers quickly and get the ball in the box.
Absolutely. Now, 11,000 in that stadium today. I mentioned a minute ago that's the record. The previous record actually out there in Zurich at the Letzigrund was 6,000. So I think it just goes to show, look at them there. The interest in the women's game is growing globally.
This is a pattern throughout the world. You know, I'm not surprised at all that this is another sellout. We've seen so many sellouts at club football and now international football, and let's hope that, you know, there's going to be so many sellouts in England, you know, throughout the Euros. But it's just great. It's great to see the women's game continuing to progress and everyone getting on board, coming to games and enjoying the football.
Good to see Ellen White there with a smile on her face as well. She did have COVID, so she missed the last game, on the bench today. Just one more thing about Switzerland, really, because they're in quite a tough group for the Euros, aren't they? Portugal, Sweden and the Netherlands. So this will be a brilliant, brilliant test for them today. Let's see how they get on against the Lionesses. There are the teams coming out in the tunnel at the Letzigrund, and we are ready to go. This is the last Euros warm-up match against Switzerland for the Lionesses. Emma Hayes is with us for this one, but first, here is your commentator, Seb Hutchinson.
A quick trip away before the party at home. Zurich, the venue for the final warm-up before things heat up on English soil. Sarina Wiegman still yet to taste defeat, still yet to see her defence breached more than once in a game. Following an eye-catching second-half display against her compatriots, she will expect to finish preparations with a 12th win in 14 unbeaten matches as manager. You couldn't really ask for more, but tough tests still lie ahead. Before the action, the anthems.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen, God save the Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us, God save the Queen. Trittst du morgen rot daher, seh ich dich im Strahlenmeer, dich, du hoch erhabener, herrlicher, wenn der Alpen fern sich rötet, betet freie schwarzer Beete, eure fromme Seele ahnt, eure fromme Seele ahnt, Gott den Herrn Vaterland, Gott den Herrn Vaterland.
Well, there's the anthems. And after the break, the action. Switzerland against England coming up very shortly. Well, welcome to Zurich for this friendly match before the Euros between Switzerland and England. We're at the Letzigrund Stadium, home of club sides FC Zurich and Grasshoppers. And the stadium tonight, well, 11,000 tickets sold, which is a record for a women's international in Switzerland. So plenty in attendance for this one. The two sides who are both going to be at the European Championships, but England, one of the favourites. And under Sarina Wiegman so far, they've looked pretty good, but they know tougher tests lie ahead, including in their group. Norway, one of those on the horizon. Changed a few things in her lineup ahead of this one. Sarina Wiegman. The two sets of players take the knee in Zurich. Ramona Bachmann there, one of the stars of this Swiss side. Well, a last chance for England to iron out the creases before the competition begins. But Emma, so far so good under the new manager?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Netherlands game was exactly the game the team needed to be in situation where they had to come back from a difficult moment, and it was such a dominant last 30 minutes from England, utilising all the strengths across the squad, and really good performance.
A Swiss side that lost 7-0 to Germany last time out, just a few games ago, but already on the attack here. So pulling it back, England stretched in the first attack of the game. So finding some space on that right-hand side, but Russo holding play up here for England. Frank Kirby allowed to carry the ball. Mead was ahead of her momentarily in that move. Here's Lauren Hemp.
I think that's one thing I've seen England really improve under Wiegman is recognising when the moments when to go forward and when to allow the team to join. I think they've become much more measured in that part of their play.
Stanway stretching it and playing it to Hemp. Loads of space for Hemp, who went to pick out Kirby in the middle, but had so much room, had all the options open to her.
Well, far too much room for Stanway to switch the ball out to Hemp. Don't know where the right back had gone, but certainly wasn't in a position to defend 1v1 with Hemp.
It's a loose pass straight to Walsh. Walsh to Mead. And Kirby has looked bright early on and looking for that clever inside pass towards Russo. Knocked up in the end there, Switzerland, but England applying that press to make it difficult for the Swiss to pass out. Senogorcevic, probably one of these standout players in this Switzerland side, the Barcelona player.
I think that's why I called her the right back. I was so terrified of managing her name.
She should see a lot of the ball this evening when Switzerland have the ball. How much they'll have of the ball, we'll see. England decent in possession here early on. Bright. Keep an eye on the shape of that England midfield as well.
I think one thing's for certain with Williamson playing at the back, don't lose the quality centrally in possession, which will give England another dynamic. Just Greenwood's distribution from the left will add something going forward too.
Bright's not bad passing the ball out from the back either. Ball to Hemp. Here's Greenwood. Now Walsh. And across to that right-hand side where Daly is. And this might break now to Russo, and it's going to break to Kirby! Well, for all the world, we would have thought England would take the lead there, but somehow denied by a brilliant save in the end by Friedli.
But what a great start from England. It's been on the front foot. It's another good switch of play from Kira Walsh into Daly. Good link play, and Russo alert inside the penalty area, and Frank Kirby should put that away. Good goalkeeping from Friedli.
Well, Switzerland missing their usual number one, Talman. Just a 10th cap tonight by Friedli in that goal. Plays her football in Italy. Had a good start. And after that early scare, England have settled pretty well here.
Well, England have the opportunity tonight to have a look at something different in midfield. I think there will come moments when Williamson will drop into a centre-back and they'll look at more attacking midfielders in there.
And Kirby, eye-catching start from the Chelsea player, pulling it back, looking for Russo, who wanted the corner, not going to get it.
But already we're seeing Frank Kirby's strengths, just looking to run into the spaces between the full-back and the centre-back, and Russo looks so alive centrally.
that save again. Sarai Friedli. Made her debut back in 2017 as had to wait really to pick up the caps. Talman, the main presence between the posts for Switzerland. There's Greenwood, left back where she made her name. Oops. Goes down there by Backman.
This is what I do think you get with Leah Williamson in this position. She's comfortable doing this game in, game out. I think England lack that at times out the back. And it is the area they're going to have to improve upon, because I think lots of teams will press them high in the Euros.
Excellent work by Russo. Through to Mead. It's really opened up for England here. Kirby is free, but it's Hemp onto a weaker right. Straight to the goalkeeper. England wasteful early on.
Oh, what a great transition that was. Beth Mead doesn't get her head up quickly enough to play the ball across to Fran Kirby. And what you get with Lauren Hemp is putting it onto a less favoured right foot. Still great break from England. I think it's the start they've needed. Something I haven't seen in the past two games. Really good start.
Looking dangerous. The side hasn't had a problem scoring goals, but this has to be taken into account, the opposition that England have faced in their time under Serena Wiegmann. But, as they always say, you can only beat what's in front of you. Can Switzerland settle? Valti trying to squirm a way out of trouble there, but England not allowing the Arsenal player any time on the ball. The captain for this Swiss side.
That's what Stanway's in there for. I think that's where England are really searching, trying to find the right number 8 to play alongside Kira Walsh and Fran Kirby. I think it's a big opportunity for Stanway in that area.
So both sides being put under pressure in possession. Swiss facing Portugal, Sweden and the Netherlands at the Euros. Games at Lee Sports Village and at Bramall Lane. Serena Borchevich there, showing her a little glimpse of her ability to cause Greenwood a problem.
Oh, she does this so naturally, gets forward on the right. It's a lovely first touch. Draws the foul from Greenwood, who's really grown into being a centre-back for club and country. It's slightly unfamiliar for her being left-back.
This is a bit more positive. The other Arsenal player, Maritz Backman. It's not the best clearance from Daly. Confident play in there from Stanway. Rogan got there for Switzerland. Reuteler, free kick.
And for me, this is the one part of her game. This is the next step for her, and I'm sure Germany will help her with that. She concedes a lot of fouls. I think in the top level, where we know a third of all major championship goals are scored from set pieces, be so conscious not to give away cheap fouls, especially around the box.
Well, Nils Nielsen watching on. It's Backman over this free kick. The PSG talent, serving player for the national team. Menley the other option, another experienced option for Switzerland, but Backman sends it in and Earps claims. For Mary Earps, not the goalkeepers want to be tested more, but she wouldn't mind to have to make a few more saves, as we seem to, we have to say every game.
No, but she's been patient, waiting to get into this position. She's done what you want players to do. She's taken her opportunity, and she can only deal with what's been presented in front of her. And it's been a much better defensive organisation from England.
Greenwood Played the ball where Hemp wanted it. And Hemp with a first-time ball in, and not over the line. Stabbed towards goal by Russo. England have come close in these early stages.
Well, again, great wing play. It's becoming synonymous with this England team. Fabulous first-time delivery, and Russo, I think, showing how lively she started this game. First to the ball.
Friedli thankful. Backman looking to release that pass. Nybogan is in. Has to check back though. Plenty of shirts forward here. Reuteler thought about the shot. Now England get the shirts back. Valti. Gorcevic laying it off. Menley from distance. Fancy to go. Did Sondi Menley, who announced her retirement after the Euros. She had her time with the national team. Looking to test Earps from distance there, the midfielder.
But the opportunity had passed. It was a great opportunity from Ekbergen to square the ball across the England box.
Reuteler, who was fouled not that long ago by Stanway, well, they should go face-to-face. Reuteler plays for Eintracht Frankfurt, the Frauen-Bundesliga. That's where Stanway will be next season. The season coming, I should say.
What a great environment to go and test herself, prove her game. I think she's really come on this year.
That's the thing about this England team. Still a work in progress for Sarina Wiegman. Some young players in the squad. How many of her starting 11 at Old Trafford against Austria does she know at this moment in time? Russo trying to slide that in towards Mead. But she's got good problems, Emma, hasn't she, in that?
Yeah, she mentioned it in the interview before, that that's what you want. You want to come out of every game and you got another selection headache. I certainly like what I see from Russo up top so far. I think her and Fran Kirby could form a partnership, but I think she's still 1 year into her tenure. This isn't a largely experienced team. Still a work in progress.
Switzerland growing into the game here. Reuteler. Some nice touches. And then Stanway again on Reuteler, who looked towards the referee for the free kick. Didn't get it. So Gorcevic. Valti. Maritz, her club teammate at Arsenal. Caligaris for Switzerland. Now Valti again. Here's Walsh. Caught on the ball by Backman and dispossessed by Backman. A lovely turn by Backman. And looking to link up as well. Just sold a little short with the return pass. Bright was in there. Maritz. Well, both sides have had an eye for goal so far, or look dangerous going forward.
Right, we can see that Switzerland have tightened up since they played Germany. You can see that there's a tenacity, there's an energy to them, especially on the counter, and Backman will be at the heart of that. I think for England, as always, their wing play is exceptional, and I think the fact that Germany scored 5 goals from crosses against this Swiss team is an opportunity for England.
I'll get your experience with Ramona Backman, Emma, her time at Chelsea.
I mean, she's extremely talented on the ball, wonderful 1v1 player. And you can see when she set the ball in here, I knew that Millie Bright would have followed through with that, because that's the type of defender she is. But hopefully it's not too bad for Ramona.
Still feeling it, yeah.
Well, the setback was just a little short, otherwise it would have been a good shooting opportunity for her. Extremely talented player, really performed well for Switzerland.
For Niels Nielsen, we have the 2 coaches from the last Euros final, in Wiegman and Nielsen, who were managing different nations at that point in time. Nielsen in charge of Denmark and
Wiegman, as we know by now, in charge of the Netherlands. Bright taking a chance that time. We saw England were pressed by the Netherlands early on in that game. They've been pressed by Switzerland early on in this game. Something else to think about. Caligaris.
I mean, you can see the way they're set up. Switzerland, look how high their left back is. Egbergen, she is playing like a left winger. It's a very deliberate tactic, but it also opens up space for England in the opposite direction.
The Swiss fullback has a special place in Swiss football history. Scored their first goal at their first ever World Cup in 2015. Here's Reuteler, who England haven't been able to pin down. Bachmann likewise swings it inside. Zurich couldn't get the header clean under enough pressure there. But they are threatening that England goal.
Oh, absolutely, really good play. See Williamson here, just constantly looking on her back shoulder. Does enough to get a backward header on the ball, or a shoulder out of play. Good play from Ramona Bachmann. And just watching her drift into the wide spaces, creating overloads. So important it is for Switzerland.
So a corner to defend. Switzerland's two key players almost combining for the opener. Nenli sends it in. Oops. Thought about coming, didn't. Bachmann. Valti. Hangs it into that penalty area. England marshalled it well in the end. Greenwood just checking Bula enough. Another Swiss centre-half. And Stanway. Williamson. Back at the back. Williamson, good ball between the lines to find Russo. Stanway. Daly. Reed right on that right-hand side.
I mean, there's no doubt Williamson can play in midfield for England, but she's a fabulous centre-back. That cutting pass straight through the centre of the pitch, I don't think any other centre-back in the country can do that with that quality.
England have some pretty good passers in their back line.
Especially on this left-hand side, I think between them, both got the range of passing in the short. And for Millie Bright, they've certainly got the diagonal pass.
Stanway couldn't make that hold. I suppose that is the area for England to work that ball into that midfield. That's the tricky thing, it seems, so far for them.
I think if Williamson stays at the back, it's finding the right 8. I think that's where the challenge will be for Serena. That's why I say it's an opportunity for Stanway. Certainly been given and gifted more minutes than anybody else.
Caligaris playing that ball forward, one of several players in this Swiss team who played with boys when they were younger. Zurich trying to slide that ball through to Reuteler. England playing a risky game at the back is Reuteler again. Trying to find Bachmann. Reuteler once more. Zurich is in the middle, too much on the pass, but Jordine Reuteler, 23-year-old, right start from her.
Well, she's just causing a problem off of Bachmann. I think the only challenge for Switzerland when they break out on that left is because Bachmann is outside of the box. There's only one body inside it.
Only a handful of appearances, really, for her club side this season, Frankfurt, Reuteler, but making a mark so far for her national side. Greenwood with a free kick here for England. It's interesting that England, with the home Euros, have chosen to go away just before the competition starts.
So smart, really is. Otherwise there'd be cabin fever. I think it's good organisation they've done that. take the team away, put them in a different setting.
They have had their chances in the first 20 minutes. And the best chances of this game so far, they haven't had it all their own way. There's Bula.
Well, it was certainly bright from England the first 10 minutes. Switzerland coming into the game, certainly a little more comfortable possession out of the back.
Maritz. So, just tackled there. Kumbaso, whose cousin Jibul also plays for the national team. Plays for Eintracht Frankfurt. Head battling. Works hard going backwards when she has to defend. It's been too often for England in the last year. Caligaris to Bula. Caligaris looks for that ball forward. Gorcevic trying to pick up positions now. Can England break quickly and work it wide? The answer is yes, good ball from Stanway. Then a numerical advantage for a moment there, England, but Switzerland getting those shirts back. Here's Mead. Walsh. Daly. Checks back and stays on her feet, Daly.
I think we see against Switzerland how much counter-attacking space there is down England's right. I think the quicker they get Mead into the game, in the turnover, the better. Because Egbegen is playing so far forward and isolated from her centre-backs.
Williamson going on a run here. Now out of position. So, counter-press from England. Switzerland work themselves out of trouble really well. And good energy from So. Maritz. Bula. Bogan on this left-hand side, high up the pitch again. Reuteler. Trying to shrug off Stanway. Benley. Valti. There's a confidence about this Swiss team, considering the result they've just come off.
Influence of their Danish coach. You can see that their playing style was changed under his leadership. You see the likes of Valti, centre midfielders, dropping into false fullback positions. And they're not synonymous for their patience. They're largely a transition team.
Walsh finding Mead on that right-hand side. Beth Mead, that took a little nick. That's going to go behind for a corner.
I think England need to do more of it. And I think for Beth Mead, just be decisive. She's been so prolific this year. The quality of her assists into the box. England have got numbers going forward.
Well, England conceded from a corner against the Netherlands in the first half. Alika Martin's header. Can they score from one? Greenwood to take. In from Greenwood. It's away by Bula, strong header. And Backman looking for the free kick to relieve the pressure. Didn't get the decision. No problem in the end.
Well, much like the game against Belgium, seems like Greenwood is targeting the near post. I've said it before, I think England are very good in the second phases from set pieces, and they do have variety, hence the short corner routines in the last game. And I say it because you can't deny its importance. As I said before, a third of all goals are scored from set pieces in major tournaments. It is a difference maker.
Esmedi Bright has been relatively fruitful for England as a goal-scoring defender. Bright again. Greenwood, the limited pressure, but limited options for her to play the ball forward. Bright. Into Russo. He's done a good job of making that ball stick so far. A very positive player as well, Russo. Tried to find Mead with the ball in. Stanway just about held on to that. Not much time for England players in that midfield, though.
Well, look how narrow and low Switzerland are between their units. There's not a lot of space to play, so you've got to be patient, got to be indirect.
Walsh looking for him. Couldn't take it cleanly, and the cover was there. And Caligaris. Maritz doing pretty well in the end, actually.
It's a good battle. I thought from the off, Maritz might struggle. Really good 1v1 defender, good experience, matured these last 12 months. I think it'd be a really good test for both players.
Former Wolfsburg player, the Arsenal fullback. If you've played for Wolfsburg, it's a decent level, to say the least. It's the England corner from Stanway. Walsh. Williamson. Good run from Kirby. Can she get goal side here with the ball? Balti across. A good cover from a player that the manager Nielsen has said is absolutely vital to this Swiss team.
Yeah, she's outstanding. She really is. Does that job so well. Kirby just makes that running behind. This is where I think it's so important for her to keep, for Fran to keep building her minutes. Really does need exposures, game exposures.
Well, Balti winning her 99th cap tonight, but Mircea Gorcevic winning cap number 135 this evening, which makes her the joint record appearance maker for Switzerland, so a special night for her. Just a week or so after Sherida Spitzer won her 200th cap for the Netherlands. Can't underestimate the importance of experience in any national side. Perhaps an area where England are, don't want to say inverted commas, lacking.
Well, I think when you compare to the likes of Sweden, then absolutely, I think in the midfield areas, look at the experience a team like Sweden has in the tournament, Spain, then I think, you know, we have to find the right blend in there, but what we do have is great depth, and those options can be a difference maker. I think these types of game away from home, we're not going to face the same situation playing in the Euros, but we are going to face games where we're expected to win, and it might be 0-0, maybe for long periods of time, and we need the bench.
Well, there's England's record goal scorer. Unavailable last week due to COVID, but all clear for this one. Coming off the bench this evening. No Lucy Bronze for England, incidentally. She's ill, though not with COVID. Bula. Caligaris to So. So to Maritz. And Greenwood not allowing her opposite number to turn there. High pressure from the fullback.
But again, that's where we're strong. I think, as we've seen, even in this game, England have to really do better at progressing the ball into the box. I mean, Beth England had one touch inside the box versus Holland. And we have to do that part of our game better, to give our forward players even more opportunity inside the key area.
Too much on the path to Lauren Hemp, who's received plenty of build-up already. Young wing forward for England. Said all the attention on Lauren Hemp, that may help other areas of the England side to find some space. Greenwood into Russo. keeping that ball tight again. Good work from the forward. Daly to link up with Mead. Stanway. Daly. Greenwood. There's the diagonal towards Mead. Bogan on the defensive cover that time. Corner England.
I have liked what I've seen from Alessia Russo so far. You know, exquisite touches, bringing the ball out of pressure, switching the play. Again, getting it into the box in any other way other than a cross or a diagonal is still the part of England's play that has to be developed.
Can they test Switzerland with this corner? Haven't been able to do so far. Greenwood. Brights lingering in there and off the line. For the cover. Zurich to deny England at the back post. It was Daly who won the header.
Well, England certainly had all their threats at the back post. Again, wonderful delivery. It's hung up. Daly brave at the back post. But there's bodies in the central area. Difficult to score. Good defending.
Reuteler making that point. It wasn't me who cleared it. And it will be a free kick to Switzerland in the end. I think Williamson saying it wasn't her fault. Maybe not much in that.
No, there wasn't.
England going into this tournament with a new captain, Williamson. Only had 6 minutes or so in the last World Cup, 2019. But this is an England team looking forward. Stanway.
I don't think they've quite got it right on the right-hand side. At times Mead is coming in, but Daly isn't overlapping like Bronze is. And it's a good way to overload a narrow back four, but I think at times Mead is going to have to take the natural width.
Greenwood again, looking for options, not happy there.
But these are the areas of the pitch I'm referring to, trying to find inside players like this, finding, in this case, a 9 who's coming a little bit short. This is where England have to work the hardest. How to link inside that central quadrant, draw players out to then either switch the pitch or progress forward.
Russo seemingly the only player so far they've been able to pick out with those passes. Here's Daly. Williamson. Greenwood. So far in this first half an hour, England have had some excellent opportunities. Big chances for Kirby, Hemp and Daly. Zurich. Such a presence for Switzerland on that side. Top player for them. They don't have the depth of the nations of this competition, Switzerland, but a couple of notable players, to say the least. Bright. Russo. Stanway. Had opened up for England there. Daly. Looking for Hemp. Too much on that pass, but we'll try and keep it alive. Just runs out of play. I mean, Hemp is an option for a diagonal ball. She is decent in the air, but that's probably not where England want to build their attacks.
No, she's facing a good defender too. Moritz is smart. She's getting into good goal side positions. She's not advancing up the pitch. She's not leaving her a lot of space. And, you know, to win games, England need multiple ways to do that. We've spoken about Hemp, their ability from set pieces. And I do think Serena is still trying to figure out her best team, which is understandable. She's only been in charge a year. It takes time.
And they've shown, though, they don't make it easy for sides to try and build from the back themselves. Switzerland finding it tricky there. didn't know already, England at the Euros in their group, Austria, Northern Ireland and Norway. Before a potential, if they do get out of the group, quarter-final against either Spain or Germany, but Denmark, of course, will have something to say about that. Don't write off Denmark.
No,
to the final last time.
No, but I think whoever England face in those first few games is going to be tough, especially teams playing out, because England recover on average about 25 high recoveries per game. That's exceptional.
As England have also shown, they can bring players off the bench to make an impact, and that could be a big part of this European Championship.
Well, that's great for the whole squad, because everyone's going to feel valued and feel like they've got a part to play in contributing.
Bright taking a chance. Sometimes when it pays off, you find openings. Greenwood. Kirby making another of those runs to try and make something happen.
She needs to do more of it. I think Stanway started to on the other side, but that space in between the fullback and the centre-back is on. You can see Greenwood, she's just looking for a player in that pocket. And when you've got wide players that hold the touchline, the 9 needs some support from the midfielders.
Mead can't link up with Daly. So calmly done from Valti again. Backman just crowded out. Williamson. Here's Bright. Hemp wriggles away from one challenge, but they swarmed round her there. Felt she was fouled though, Lauren Hemp. Trying to find space inside the pitch, funnily enough.
That's where she would like to go on the dribble, but as I mentioned before, the space between the Swiss lines, very short, less than 10 yards. It's not a lot of space.
So England with those opportunities, but also a positive start for Switzerland as well, who've shown, despite that scoreline against Germany, we'll repeat it, that they're no pushovers, and they're a side looking to qualify for the World Cup next year as well.
They're always the worst team to face, a team that's just got absolutely walloped. You know, every player's got pride, and you can see in their aggression, the way they've played, they're holding their own.
One note, of course, that most of Germany's goals came in the second half. England improved against the Netherlands in the second half. And stretching for that there. Daly, who stayed down. Switzerland carrying on. Backman. Menley wants it. England switching off there. Oh, and missed by Earps, but also missed by Senegorcevic.
Oh, what a ball. What a ball across to the back post. I really thought Rach Daly would win that ball, which she did. But again, transition, attacking the space that Daly has left. And this is a fabulous hit into the box, just slightly overhit from Mendeley. And the number 9, deep the back post. Couldn't get enough on it.
Yeah, Menley, impressive ball into the penalty area. One of this experienced group of Swiss players, and Maritz, who's defended very well indeed against Hemp so far. Senegorcevic. Bula. Menley again. Link-up play has been pretty good so far from Switzerland. That one not quite coming off in the end. But as we said before, lots of experienced players in this Swiss side.
Yeah, I think really good performance in midfield with both So and Mendeley. You can see they're trying to overload a little bit England's right-hand side. The most telling crosses and chances created are coming down that side.
Just the 85 caps for Menley. The 92, well, this is the 93rd for Maritz. Well over 100 for Bachmann, well over 100 Senegorcevic. Here's Russo. Hemp. Kirby. I think Fran Kirby's been on the England scene for a long time, but this is only her 57th cap.
I mean, again, what a pass from Williamson into Russo. I think she gives England another dimension from this position, even if I think Greenwood is exceptional on the ball. I think Williamson has the ability to hit it on the floor, straight up to the striker.
Walsh with the switch. Out to Daly. Plenty forward here for England. Cross doesn't come in, though. Brights. Saw the space. But really, it's indicative of the options that England have in attack here. This is defence from Switzerland. Bright. Won't shoot this time, you would fancy. But Bogan needs to be careful. Needs to clear this now and does. And as far as Greenwood. Williamson to Kirby. Hemp. Just across it there. Back it goes. Greenwood. Kirby. Walsh now. Played out by Stanway. Daly, but good defence of the crosses so far from Switzerland.
Best passage of play for England last couple of minutes. Much more patient, more players involved in the build, finally finding a player in that pocket beyond their midfield line. And again, Williamson at the heart of it.
Well drilled so far by Niels Nielsen, the Swiss side. To close in on half-time. England still will feel they should be a couple of goals in front, though, based on the chances they've had. Greenwood to take this corner late in the first half. Greenwood, and there's Daly. Did that hit to hand? England look towards the referee. And good closing down from him.
Again, that deep back post ball is causing so many problems. Both Daly and Bright in that area. So threatening. And I think Daly's going to be a tricky one, because if Williamson does play at the back, will Daly be the player to miss out? But she's such a threat for England from set pieces.
Well, we can play Rachel Daly anywhere on this team. She's got 10 options.
Great team player.
It's one of those who's given Serena Wigman one of those good headaches that managers have.
Now she's earned everything she's got. I think she's a player who's improved massively under her tenure.
Greenwood. Hemp gets away from Maritz for once. Walsh. Daly now. 4 in the penalty area. And it goes to Kirby. Header from Russo. But England maybe looking towards those wide areas now. They know that's where they can hurt the Swiss.
But what England are doing are going down one side, coming back inside the pitch. Good switches. I think it's been much more patient the last 5 minutes.
All slip there from Caligaris. And that should be a booking for the centre-back.
I mean, what else was she to do? Certainly couldn't leave Russo bearing down on goal.
Plays in Spain, has spent the last 5 years in Spain. Speaks fluent Spanish in that time.
A really good half from Russo, I think. She's shown some things that will justify why Serena Wigman is rotating the forwards. Certainly got good options.
Nielsen a little worried here. Looks as though they're going to go for the swinger here from Stanway. Stanway leaves it for Greenwood. Maritz lost the ball momentarily there. Oh, Reuteler just about got away with that. Some cost maybe, though.
Well, Stanway has to go for it. I'm not sure about that. I'm really not.
That's an argument to say if Stanway had gone down there. But Hemp so far being well marshalled by Maritz, but how long will that last for?
Like I said, I think Maritz is a smart defender. I think it's a good test.
Well, Russo strong in the challenge. The referee didn't like the challenge. But Caligaris, who was caught out just moments earlier, Russo fancied her chances of trying to get the ball back, but caught the player here in the process.
I don't know. Again, it's what you want to see your forwards do, tracking back. Maybe it is a little late. I'm not the best person to ask on these things. I'd never give any free kick.
Caligaris clearly not happy with the challenge.
A good end to the half, though, for England. Yes, no goals. Away from home. Seeing a different partnership with Kirby and Russo. Williamson at the back gives us something different to think about. And now I think England's best strength is obviously changes. And she's made them at half-time. It'd be interesting to see if she'll do the same again.
Well, they were in a sticky patch against the Netherlands, not just in the first half, but the beginning of the second half, when the Netherlands spits and missed from the penalty spot. After that, it was all England, after the substitutions were made as well. Caligaris looks like she's going to be OK. The Swiss-Italians in the squad. Hasn't hid the fact that she'd love to play in the Juventus kit one day. Currently at Levante. We'll talk about Rachel Daly playing in multiple positions. Caligaris has played up front, can play in midfield. Centre-back tonight for Switzerland. Reuteler can't make it stick. Kirby won't get to that ball. Caligaris seems to be moving OK now. And half-time. Fairly even first half as far as the flow of the game is concerned, but England with the best chances, no doubt. Big chances for Kirby and Hemp and Daly, but no way through for England, no way through for a spirited Switzerland as well. Half-time in Zurich, Switzerland 0, England 0.
It's going to break to Kirby, somehow denied. And Hemp for the first time, ball in, and it's gone over the line. England have come close in these early stages. Points lingering in there and off the line.
Well, in Zurich at half-time, it is still 0-0 between Switzerland and the Lionesses. Eni Aluko, Ian Wright joining me once again for half-time. Chances came thick and fast quite early on, including this one for Beth Mead. Perhaps could she have been a little bit sharper with the way that she played this pass for you?
Absolutely. We talked before the game about Beth Mead taking her chance from the start. This is a huge opportunity to make the right decision here. She's got to play that into the space for Fran. It's 2v1. These are the opportunities when the Euros start, we have to take them. She has to play that ball. Fran equally has to demand the ball. Again, Fran, great run. It's an easy ball. Just play that into the space. So Fran is 1v1 against the defender. Fran is one of the best players in the world in that position. Beth Mead has to make better decisions there. But equally, Fran, for Chelsea, I've played with her a lot of times, you've got to demand that. You absolutely got to demand that so that pass is coming. So it's just that ruthlessness in the final third for England that we haven't seen yet. Those chances continued. There were a lot for England. Quite wasteful, though, which we've seen before, Ian.
Yeah, we've been like that from the start with Serena, wasted chances. It's something that we have to do better at. I was very surprised with Lauren Hemp with this ball. It's a poor ball in. You don't pick anybody out. It's a great chance, first minute of the game. And then this one, I just feel that Fran Kirby, you know, for me, that's a miss. You have to lift it. No. I'm not giving a goalkeeper or anything there. That's a miss because you're so close. Lester's really unlucky there, Lester Russo there, because she's worked very hard and brilliantly in the first half. And this is just a good save off the line. But again, people saying, oh, this is a good test. This is a good test for us because they've come from a 7-0 beating, but we should be 3-0 up there.
There was an opportunity as well, potentially for a handball call for a penalty.
I think that would be a penalty, I suppose. In the competition, in the Euros, that's handball.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I know that they probably ain't got VAR there, but that will probably get a penalty for that.
We'll have VAR in the European Championships, and I think if we did, you know, in the Euros, that is potentially a call there. She's sort of caught it with her arm.
Yeah. OK, guys, well, look, it's 0-0 at half-time. There will be more still to come in the second half. It's actually Switzerland that had a pretty good chance, though, despite the fact that England were chance after chance. Have a little look at this. This is from Senegozovic. England very, very lucky here. Second half is coming next. As it stands, it's 0-0 in Zurich. We have the last two World Cup qualifiers in September, where England can qualify the 2023 World Cup if they avoid defeat to Austria. That one's on the 3rd of September, and we will have their final game against Luxembourg on Tuesday the 6th, and that one will take place at Stoke City's ground. So, second half is coming right up in Zurich. As it stands, it's 0-0 between the two teams. Switzerland having a bit of a go. England having a lot of chances, loads of chances, in fact. Leah Williamson's playing at centre-back today, where we see her play there for Arsenal. She looks very comfortable in that role, doesn't she?
Yeah, she is comfortable because it's the position she thrives in the most. You know, she's got a lot of time, a lot of space around there, and she's got good vision. And she's got great passing ability. So when you get a ball like that with so much space around, you've got people making great movement like Alessio's made there, Alessia Russo's made there. You're gonna find them. And this one again, it's fantastic. Look how much time she's got, space. And then if you've got willing forwards coming off, then she'll find you. She's a fantastic passer like that.
Those sort of passes from centre-backs are so important. You see how many players from Switzerland were eliminated there. Leah's got the ability to do that. And I think it really raises an interesting question about, you know, Leah, we've seen her play in midfield for England. I think she's had a really good half at centre-back, you know, playing those balls into the forward. So, again, it's just a really interesting option for Sarina Wiegman going forward. We've
asked you two to build your best England 11, which we're going to have a look at after the second half at the end of the match. So I'd be interested to see where you both have Leah Williamson in that. Alessia Russo is someone that you picked out at half-time to say that she's been so positive.
She's working very hard. She's linking play very well. She's working channels. She's doing a lot of work. The only thing that she hasn't got, which she's going to need, is to score. She needs to score a couple of goals and look more of a goal threat, because that's what we know Ellen White can do.
Switzerland making a couple of changes. If you were Sarina, would you make any at this point for England?
Yeah, I think Beth Mead and Chloe Kelly argument, as you know, is a big debate. I think Chloe Kelly should come into this game. I think Ellen White should come into the game. Alessia Russo's done really well, but I would expect Ellen to come in and get some minutes in this as well. OK, let's get into the second half then. The last two matches, England have scored 8 goals, but only one of them in the first half. So are we expecting a few more goals in the second half? Let's go and see what goes on in this one in Zurich and hand you over to your commentary team, Emma Hayes. But first, Seb Hutchinson.
So a couple of changes here for Switzerland in the second half. Marti, who's a full-back, has come on, a Bayer Leverkusen player. And Sandrine Maron, another player to come on for Switzerland. Plays her football for Frankfurt as well, so linking up with her club teammate Reuteler. And you'll be pleased to know, Emma, that Srna Gorcevic has gone off.
I have practiced the entire half-time trying to pronounce her name. I'm devastated.
Well, second half underway, no goals in the first half. England with the better chances in that first half. Switzerland showing enough to show that there'll be no pushovers come tournament time. And as far as World Cup qualification is concerned, they're second in their group behind Italy, after losing to the Italians in their last qualifier. But wait for those changes and the impact they'll have on the game.
Well, unlike Sarina, not to make any, but it gives England the chance to start the second half like they did the first.
Problem there for Millie Bright, briefly. England still on the attack, though, and Stanway checks. That will be a free kick. So England not turning to the substitutes bench yet.
She's got a fly in her eye.
How irritating is that?
Oh, scoop it out, get on with it.
Let's hope it's a fly then, Emma.
I'm kidding. Needed to get in the box. Free kick coming.
So, set piece for England, and Greenwood, Stanway over it. It's been Greenwood taking all the set pieces so far. Stanway this time for England. A low delivery, and at first it looked as though it wasn't the best ball of the world, but it almost worked out for Hemp.
Well, Hemp made it a good ball with a fabulous run across the front zonal player.
We've seen this so often from international sides, trying to build from the back, but Friedley going long this time, giving up on it.
This is what I think teams might do against England, knowing how good they are in the press. I'd be interested to see which teams go long against them.
Lovely touch from Backman, trying to play that ball in behind as well. Switzerland taking off an important player in that regard, who was a threat in that first half, Senogorcevic. Ball forward. Oh, and took her eye off the ball there, Reuteler. Didn't have the touch required, and he knows it.
Just a little disjointed from England at the back. I think for Williamson, had such a strong first half.
Mead. Just to get that pass away. Off to by Williamson. Must be repeated, of course. England yet to lose under Serena Wiegman. Williamson. Right.
I mean, it must be said, Switzerland held out 2-0 down against Germany for 60 minutes. Know that did concede 5 goals in the last 30. I think for England, this is where the bench coming into the game, bringing in energy, whomever it might be, will be critical.
That's why the manager holding off changes so far.
I think there was a lot of good things to like about the first half. I think Rousseau, Williamson in particular.
Here is Rousseau. Hemp, first time ball in, too much on the cross though. Maybe Mead didn't gamble on that ball coming in first time.
And that's the challenge you get when you have Rousseau coming so low to get on the ball, is that if she plays Hemp in behind, that there's only one body in the box.
Maritz has tried everything so far just to pin Hemp down. Expect Hemp's going to come against all sorts of tactics to try and pin her down. That was a painful one for her on the wrist, and England will be hoping that's a brief issue. There's a wry smile there from Lauren Hemp. And a player so many people are talking about at the moment, but a humbleness about Lauren Hemp that people close to her have spoken about, taking it in her stride so far, and we must remember again how young she is.
She's just got to keep enjoying her football. She's a joy to watch, and the country should be proud of her.
Niels Nielsen will be proud of Maritz's performance so far, though. But this touch here from Reuteler, and she knew the opportunity there. The manager's reaction said it all as well. Niels Nielsen, who spent 4 years in charge of Denmark. After that, had a short spell with the youth sides in China. We're in charge of Switzerland, who are a country who've been to 2 major tournaments, 2015 World Cup in Canada and the last Euros. Got to the knockout stages in Canada, losing to the hosts. Couldn't get past the group stage in the Netherlands. Serena of England got past the group stage, went all the way. Beth Mead so far, she knows in her position as well. Chloe Kelly is a rival for that role. Hemp just getting some treatment on that wrist. If there's one area England won't mind Hemp having an issue, it's probably on the hand. Pride in the stadium at the 11,000 tickets sold for this game. And a big cheer going round the ground. Bright, just under 10,000, or just under 11,000, I should say. And still a record crowd. It was just over 6,000, the previous record. And back on the field. Williamson trying to bend that ball in behind. Fancy him, if England do get their noses in front in the next 10 minutes or so, you'd think Hemp would be one of those first players to come off. Hemp on the move now, Lauren Hemp. It's been interesting in this game, she's looked to try and mix her game up a lot more than just, hasn't run with the ball too much, she's looked to play that pass first time, that cross first time. Stanway battling to hold on to it, but Switzerland have done a very good job to make it difficult for England. They're looking for the free kick there, and it does come eventually.
Well, it should have come initially, but I understand it's a foul in the back. Taking some time, the officials, to make decisions in this game.
England supporters in the crowd. Earps out to deal with that one. Just about got it to Bright. Daly. Mead expecting the challenge.
Game getting a little more physical second half. Certainly slowed down a touch. More controlled from England. But I think less movement.
Good ball from Williamson again, though, to find Stanway. Kirby. Sarina Wiegman not afraid, of course, to change things up if needs be, to try and find a solution to a problem in the game. Williamson. Kirby. Hemp getting that foot on. Moritz was there again. Moritz disciplined in her work on that side. Williamson. Daly. Oh, sharp turn there from Stanway. Quickly closed down by Bula. And at the moment, those little individual moments of quality might be the key for England here.
Well, that's what's lacking around the penalty box. The build-up play, especially this part of the pitch. England are comfortable.
Kirby. And Williamson, who's had so much time to play her passes as Switzerland stay tight in the midfield area. Picks the perfect pass again to Daly. Daly hangs it in there. Hemp is arriving, so is Russo. What a finish! England find the opener. And Alessia Russo with that opener. They break that Switzerland rear guard with brilliant football. England in front at the start of this second half.
Oh, it's exactly what we were talking about. Brilliant team goal. Once again started off by the brilliance out of the back from Leah Williamson with a crossfield pass to perfection at the feet of Rachel Daly. Takes it in her stride and just lofts it to the back post where Russo eludes her mark up, keeps her eye on the ball and just cushions it into the bottom corner. Alessia Russo has certainly staked a claim to start for England. I think she's played really, really well today.
Well, the Manchester United striker as England go again. That time through me trying to catch the goalkeeper out. But the Manchester United striker, Alessia Russo, with that goal. Her fourth for England. The previous three all came in that 20-0 victory over Latvia. And Nielsen, of course, will be disappointed, but a well-crafted goal from England. So Switzerland, who crumbled rather in the second half against Germany.
Well, that's what you'd fear for Switzerland. England have to stay on top.
So, challenge from Bright. Wasn't going to allow So any time there. And we think through all of England's performances under Sarina Wiegman, I've seen them all. England have come on very strong in second halves of games. Say the one drop-off, perhaps, one notable game, that game against Canada. And they had a fine first half. The Canadians were the better side in the second half, but besides that, they've been pretty strong. Hogan. Batman hasn't had many touches in his second half. I won't get that ball. Mead, strong challenge from her. And Wiegman won't mind seeing that either.
I think both, all wide players for England, their back defending is excellent.
I suppose England supporters will be encouraged if they see England adapting in games to overcome issues. Because that sort of situation is where you see tournament winners, the potential tournament winners, with that ability to do that. And having that depth off the bench, but they haven't turned to the bench yet, England. Here's Williamson. Bright. Daly. Mead. Daly. And Walsh. England linking up well here, so could she get goal side of Walsh? She can't. And Walsh almost nutmegging So. Still has the ball though, Kira Walsh. Stanway. And now Kirby. Mead. England moving Switzerland around here. Daly. Ball cleared away, but only as far as Kirby. Just wouldn't break to her there. Ruler away. And a very relieving free kick for Switzerland.
But so much better this half from England. I think they really are showing a maturity. This team recognises when to be more patient in its play. I think they've been much better on the right-hand side. Stanway getting more involved, including Mead. I think as a result of that and having both sides of the pitches to play in, with Fran Kirby coming a little lower to get on the ball. Been a good 15 minutes.
And now they have their lead. They can bring on the substitutes. And a fair few of them as well. So Kirby makes way for Ella Toon, who really impressed coming off the bench against the Netherlands. Scored one and was involved in the build-up to 3 other goals as well. A Chelsea duo, Bethany England and Jess Carter. And a Manchester City forward, Chloe Kelly. Russo going off after her goal. And England on.
It really is great, the options England have. All the players coming off, all played well. There's a chance for others, as I said, to feel valued, and if England are going to win the Euros, every single player has to play their part.
Well, Kelly on for Mead. I fancy those two are going to be flip-flopping during the competition. And no real drop-off for England in quality in that department. That's for sure. Jess Carter, we'll see where she plays in the back line. She can play across the entire back line. The backman still has a problem here. The player had a notorious moment, actually, in the past against England in a World Cup playoff back in the 2011 World Cup. Just ask Rachel Brown-Finnis, who ended up being sent off in that game for an inverted commas incident with Backman, who's not going to be able to continue here. Switzerland down to 10 at the moment, but on the attack, Maritz. He's probably been one of Switzerland's standout players in this game, certainly defensively. And an interesting player coming on here in Fabian Hume, who had retired from the national team, but was persuaded to return to the setup by the current manager. And one of the players in the squad who isn't completely professional. But England on the attack here again, looking for their second goal. And the substitutions that they've made so far. And Daly now on the left side of defence now, and Hemp taking this ball on. And Kelly going for the first time shot. And that's cleared away by Marty. Bright.
Just take 5-10 minutes for the game to settle back down with that number of subs.
Yeah, 4 changes made there by England, which will be something that happens in the tournament. Here's Bright. Toon always thinks forward. And played a lovely pass as well to Daly, and they're queuing up in the middle. Hemp trying to attack that, and Friedley claims.
You know what's so great watching Ella Toon? She just wants to get on the ball. She always shows for it. She's not afraid to take it in the tight spaces.
There's a player you know well, Emma, who's had to go off in the end. Disappointment for Backman.
Well, hopefully it's nothing too serious. Important tournament. An important game she's going out of, but you know, she's such a top player for her country.
It's 2 of Switzerland's better players now off the pitch, and they're under pressure here. Kelly, lovely ball in, and almost forced in. England on a penalty as well. Hemp, I think there's a problem on her wrist again. Just wonder here if England should maybe just take Lauren Hemp off.
Yeah, the stars might be suggesting that, but what a ball from Chloe Kelly. I mean, for the very limited minutes she's had, she hits 3 key passes a game. I mean, goal-scoring opportunities. She is a fabulous threat for England.
Well, a popular substitution, as in the player coming on. Disappointment that Backman has come off, but Hume is on. One of the, I want to say veterans, can you say veterans 7 years ago, but one of the members of that 2015 side.
See the way she fell, looked like she might have broke her wrist.
Still on the pitch now, for now, Lauren Hemp. Backman with bigger problems in that area. So rare attack in the second half from Switzerland at the midway point of the second half. Mike Bogan. That's not a bad ball at all. Big chance for Sol. Indecisive in the end. England covering it in the end. Very good opportunity, though.
Well, again, another deep cross goes beyond the 2 centre-backs. And so I think it's been solid. And this player here been getting forward the whole game. Just bounces at an awkward height. You see the frustrations.
Indeed. Plays in France for Paris. the other club in the top flight in France. Or the Paris club in the top flight in France. Williamson, purposeful play again from the centre-back. And England's in the middle here. Good cover in the end. England looking dangerous again, though.
Well, that's what you're going to have with Beth England now, with quick balls going through Toon into Hemp. Beth England will look to run the front post.
Stanway will go across to take this one. Defensive work here for Switzerland. Stanway's corner, and England heads it over. Free header for Bethany England.
Oh, great chance. I mean, entire game we've been seeing back post deliveries, mixed it up again with a front post ball. Well-timed run, just got under it.
Stanway so far.
She can deliver a ball. Don't underestimate her with that. We know we talk about Greenwood and her delivery, but Stanway strikes a ball so well.
It's a lovely touch in there from Marty, who has it back again. Whom? Free kick, but every time Whom touches the ball, she gets a great reception as an FC Zurich player. But a yellow card here for that challenge. Stanway holds her hands up. I think the first late challenge she's had tonight, Georgia Stanway.
It's part of her. I totally understand that. You know, that tenacity is part of her game. You can see she's clearly onside. But the top level, you have to be so conscious not to concede cheaply around these areas, because you're going to come up against some of the best set-piece takers in the world. You don't want to give teams anything.
Think about the big games that England have played. Serena Wigman, we think the game against the Netherlands, they conceded from a set-piece. Against Germany, Nina McGould scored direct from a free kick. It's a little bit further out than this one. Nevertheless, give any of the top players a free striker goal. Not the easiest of shooting angles, though, so it might be more of a cross here from Menley, we'll see. And Menley digs it in there. England all over the place at the back. Flag is up. Well, Caligara's head in hands, but they were queuing up the Swiss to put that in.
And that's what happens, just in a moment, 1-0 up. Could be a change in the game. Yes, she's offside. But when you know they are such an important part of international football, they're the lessons I think some of the younger players on this English team need to develop going into tournament football. It's not to change anything. Stanway is a terrific football player. Just needs to be conscious of those small things.
Here's Walsh. Saw the challenge coming from Whom. Eyes in the back of her head there, Keira Walsh. Williamson. Probably been England's most effective creator. But Walsh getting that ball wide. Now Hemp wants the pass. It's Mrs. Hemp finds England. Top save by Friedley. Had to make it.
And that's what I was talking about, with such good wide play, Toon getting involved. Beth England takes these positions up so well. Times it, just hits it in the one space. It was easy for the goalkeeper to cover, but really good from Beth England.
Friedley's made some important contributions to keep the score as it is for Switzerland. Well, England go to the back post from the corner. Serena Wigman not happy her side, hasn't scored more goals tonight. Hemp goes to that back post again towards Bright. Marty clears. Carter. Walsh. Well, as it was against the Netherlands, it's England's second half. Toon. Ball wide. Kelly now on the left-hand side. Here is Kelly. Brilliant feet. Hemp! Oh, off the line to deny what would have been a brilliant goal. Oh, it's a penalty. It's a penalty in any case. England will get the chance from the spot to score a second. But just before that, that would have been a glorious goal again from Lauren Hemp, but not to be denied on the line.
What a brilliant piece of wing play from Chloe Kelly. Really quick feet to get beyond, perfectly timed. I don't know how that's a penalty. I thought it was a push by Stanway. Nonetheless, take it.
And Marty unfortunate there because she fell down onto the ball. And the whistles ring round the arena. Georgia Stanway, who's already scored once from the penalty spot for England under Sarina Wiegman. A chance for Georgia Stanway to score her second penalty under Sarina Wiegman. And a chance to double England's lead here. Trying to shut out the whistles. It's Stanway, finds the corner. And England's 2-0 up now in this game. They've had another strong second half and a deserved lead.
Well, I think it was a deserving goal for Hemp to score. That forced the penalty, really well struck, confident, decisive, instep into the corner. But what a piece of play from Chloe Kelly. The way she jigged between two defenders, the know-how, the confidence to hit the ball to Lauren Hemp.
And there you go, head foremost finishing on a high. And Nikita Parris coming on in that right area as well. We talk about energy that England could bring off the bench. Parris another example of that. But start to think, if you're Kelly or Mead, maybe you don't want to start.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's about where the team ends up, and I think it will change throughout the tournament. I don't think it matters.
Certainly not for England when they have these options. Parris, can she get to this? Vogel just doing enough in the end. And Switzerland really did fade against Germany. That 7-0 loss last time out. The goals coming late in that game. We saw Belgium fade against England as well. How much would England face sides in the competition who do have deep squads? The likes of Germany and France, perhaps. But that's a brilliant ball from Walsh. And here's Parris, corner. And you do start to worry for Switzerland now in these last, well, this last quarter of an hour.
But I do think it is great for Sarina Wiegman to notice that every time England make changes, they improve. And not because anything's going wrong in the first 60 minutes. You have to break a team down, but we're able to sustain, even increase performance in the latter stages of games.
So Stanway just scored from the spot for England. Looking to turn provider here. Stanway to England. It's in, it's 3. The Lionesses do find a way through from a set piece. And Beth England off the bench, a goal for her. And Switzerland may be crumbling again for a second game in succession. But England won't care about that. They increase their advantage.
Building confidence, 3 headers, 1 goal. This time, she goes straight through the ball. Good dummy from Chloe Kelly in front of the goalkeeper. She catches it really well, heads it down.
Was there a slight touch from Chloe Kelly to try and pinch that one?
No, you can't take that off of the striker.
Kelly hasn't scored for England. She had a goal taken off her against Belgium, deemed as too big a deflection. We will see.
No, that's Chloe Kelly's goal.
Not Beth England's.
This one's Beth England's.
Well, I'll say it again, another strong second half from England. And I'll pose this one to you, Emma. We talk about, obviously, it's an open tournament, lots of favourites. Does any side have the depth that England have off the bench?
That's a good question. I think Sweden are the most experienced team. I think they have depth, but their experience stands out. I'm sure every team feel they have changes in them, but I think England do have the most depth in the forward areas, in the most attacking areas. We have so many wide players to choose from, so many number 9s, so many number 10s. I think the area we are short is a number 8.
Speaking of number 8s, Sondi Menley coming off here. An interesting player coming on in the number 7, the teenager, Mariella Chimaili, whose twin brother is also a young professional footballer and a talented forward as well. And another interesting player coming on here in Renast, who is a singer, Emma, as well as a footballer.
Well, good for her.
England have been on song in this second half. Stanway going off. And Jill Scott, her first appearance in these warm-up games. An experienced presence in this England squad, of course.
And I do think that's an option that England need to utilise. A hugely experienced player that has always performed for England, I might say.
And England closing in on that Swiss defence again. Who will look at that clock and realise there's still plenty of time left for England to add more. Paris arriving in the back post. Chloe Kelly has been a thorn in this Swiss defence since she's come on. Bright. When England have been on top in games and got that goal, they've really pressed on and looked for more. There's a ruthlessness about the way they want to attack sides now when they do get that advantage.
But there's competition. There's players on the bench that want to impress, and they're coming on and they are impressing. That's healthy for a team.
Here is Raquel Renast. Another of these players has plenty of caps. That's on the left-hand side, but is at the centre of defence at the moment. Oh, and England, the pressure from Williamson and Earps and Walsh. Here's Toon. Now Kelly. Fancies a go. How close was that one? And if she doesn't get that, given the benefit of the doubt with that little touch for the England goal, she'll still fancy a chance of finding the net in the last 10 minutes.
But the speed at which Toon and Kelly play together is exciting. I think the young players coming into this England team really offer something that we're going to need in this tournament.
So yes, Renast indeed on that left-hand side. So England on course here for another win in these warm-up matches. And of course there'll always be a few question marks because we haven't started the tournament yet. But on the whole, scoring plenty of goals. It's a loose pass. Arenas clearing it forward, no option there. Bright into England. On by Walsh. England making all those changes, but still looking dangerous. Another good sign as well.
Absolutely. They look fresh, hungry, the players coming into the game. Everyone looks clear on their roles. I think England are in good shape going into the tournament.
So, under a bit of pressure, they're still able to press as well, England, with these fresh legs. And Walsh, what about that for a pass? Paris couldn't bring it down.
That's what happens if you give Walsh time and space to turn and face forward. He's so capable of that.
I suppose that's another element of this, Emma, is the fact that if you give space, or if you try and pin down one of these England players, somebody's got space elsewhere, it feels like. Oh. Almost closing that one down, England.
I think the reality is if you keep England relatively quiet for 60 minutes, you know that the 30 minutes that there could be up to 5 changes, and that's where a lot, I think, of England's progress is being made in terms of their team development. Their most chances are created then. It's dynamic. As I said before, we shouldn't speak about starting 11s, we should speak about the whole squad and its value.
Speak about the finishers. It's the phrase used by Eddie Jones in the rugby union team. Those players you bring off the bench who see you over the line. And Kelly at the moment has been unplayable really for the Swiss players since she's come on. Reuteler, who had some decent moments in the first half, looking the other way and being forced to hold on to Chloe Kelly as she moves away.
It just seems that both Kelly and Mead making massive impacts from the bench. I don't think either one of them in the last few games have been overly outstanding from starting positions, but it doesn't matter. As long as they make the impact that's necessary for England to win, that's all that is important to the team.
Before this match, England would have been seen as the favourites for this game, especially considering Switzerland's recent form. Nevertheless, a win is a win. That's all you can do. That's all you're asked to do. It's Bula. Bula again. And that's a strong header, to say the least, from Daly. I was saying it was there for me to have a go, ref.
And it was, but it is strong. It was through the back of her. She's right, she won the ball. She's tough. I can see why it's been given as a free kick. You know,
Another of the big performers for England under Sarina Wiegman, the player who plays her football in the United States, who are still standard bearers for women's football on a global stage, but they're not going to be playing in the tournament next month. Jamaili, Friedli didn't fancy that one, got it away. Walsh, who's grown in this game, dominating it with her deep passing, looking for the run of England. Patsy Friedli will take her time here.
she will, but what great confidence for Russo and England going into the tournament, getting a goal apiece today.
And again, to repeat the theme that England substitutes, there's no drop in energy. Switzerland, meanwhile, making the same number of changes. Mariam Tershun, another FC Zurich player, coming on. Forward replacing Reuteler. And he'll be pleased with his side's first half performance. Of course, he would have known that England would come on strong in the second half. It's exactly what Germany did, and Germany amongst the favourites for the competition. Bula. And there's Daly. England may be 3-0 up, but no sign from them in any of the games, actually, that they're in coast mode. Here's Paris. And Jill Scott. Carter. Walsh. Tidy control again from Walsh, who felt she was fouled before that. Oh, Jill Scott coming off the bench. We almost forgot about Jill. I don't know how you can forget about Jill Scott, but we talk about those midfield options. Completely unique one for England.
As I said before, she's always performed in an England shirt, and she's performed for Serena in her tenure.
Jamaili. That ball there. This is Maritz. Caligaris. Lost by whom? Toon looking for Paris. Two Swiss players almost getting in each other's way there. Scott trying to force her way through. So, crowded out, didn't really have the support there, but battling. And England get the decision in the end. Switzerland starts their tournament against Portugal at the home of Manchester United's women's side, Leigh Sports Village. And they'll be favourites for that game, Switzerland. Portugal replacing Russia in the tournament. Bright. The switch out to Kelly. And Kelly with one thought in her mind to drive forward, and there's nothing Maritz really could do about that. She would have thought, oh, I've seen off Lauren Hemp, but Chloe Kelly, not that much easier to deal with.
No, what a handful. You can tell she's got so much confidence running at Maritz. Completely different proposition to Hemp. And I think Maritz did quite well with that. I think the difference with Kelly is she just changes direction all of the time.
Serena Wigman, what has she learnt from this game? We'll find out after the game, of course. She speaks to Katie Shanahan. Kelly playing it short, and Toon was caught there, was she? And Walsh with a shot, didn't catch it cleanly, and scramble defence in the end from whom?
I know the shot come off, but if that was during the tournament, would it have been a penalty with VAR? It certainly looked like she was caught.
No VAR in this particular game, which Switzerland will be thankful for, because England could have had a penalty in the first half as well, to add to the one they were awarded in the second half. 4 more minutes. Switzerland to endure. Another dominant second half from England. In from Kelly. Bula away. Carter. We think back even to the game when England won 20-0 against Latvia. The notable thing about that was they never dropped off in their intensity, England, even when they're comfortably in front.
I think it's a sign of maturity and also how much they've developed under Serena. Like I said, I think they're going into the tournament in good shape.
Good play from Beth England to Paris. And Paris, they're all in the middle there. There's about 4 shots to aim for. And Toon doesn't really want it up there.
What I think England have done much better today is from back to front, linked with their 9, played up to then play out and then filled the box better.
Paris won't get to that. As he close in on the end of this game, what will Sarina Wiegman have learnt from this particular game, or do you think she now knows enough about her team going into this tournament?
She won't like me saying this, but I think she's learnt that Leah Williamson should play at the back. I think that's the main thing, and that's got nothing to do with Alex Greenwood. So I think you could play those two side by side and still have the quality. I think it's reaffirmed that how important it is to link with the 9, get the 10s more involved. I think they've done it better today.
And the England manager celebrating that second goal from Stanway. She was probably a little frustrated England didn't score more in this game, of course.
You know, the mad thing is she's been playing with double pivots, but Kira Walsh is so used to playing as a single pivot with an 8 and a 10 at Manchester City, and she looks more comfortable as a result of that. I think sometimes with her and Williamson, they're trying to do the same thing.
Kelly. Looking for Scott, perfect ball! And Scott repays the cross with England's 4th goal. A big smile on the face of Jill Scott. Another goal for her in her long England career. And a game in which England have finished their preparation with a flourish.
I said it against Germany, they conceded 5 goals from crosses, 3 today if you include the corner. Well timed, got between the fullback, the centre back, and as I've said before, always performs for England. She could become crucial because I think they do need an 8 option.
Tough of the cheeks from Jamali there. Well, preparation done, and England in pretty good shape. A dozen wins for Sarina Wiegman, still without defeat, still with a defence barely breached. Just 6 days to go until the first of what they hope will be 6 big match days en route to a home Euros title. And from what we've seen so far under Sarina Wiegman, they've got a pretty good chance. Final score from Zurich, Switzerland 0, England 4.
Well, in Zurich, it was 0-0 at half-time, and then second half with a load of changes. Typically for the Lionesses, as they're playing at the moment, the goals really started to flourish. Alessia Russo with the first one, and then this penalty from Lauren... Oh, no, that's not. It's from George Stanway, isn't it? Beth England made it 4-0 in the end, and Jill Scott got the last one. A brilliant goal from her in the end, 4-0. I mean, I'm mixing my goals up left, right and centre here, but basically what you need to know is that the Lionesses came out in the second half and did what we've seen them do the whole time, essentially, which is make those changes, have lots of impact off the bench and eventually put the game away. They do kind of look like different teams with the first half and the second half. Is that a good thing, Annie?
It's absolutely a great thing. I think when you're bringing players into the game with fresh legs, the level goes up. It doesn't go down. And I think, again, it goes back to that point about the depth of the team, the quality of the team, the hunger of the players coming off the bench, the opportunities that Sarina Wiegman gives the players, because there are squads, England squads in the past where you just don't have a chance. And it looks like everybody's given a chance, so they know that they can come into the game and affect it. So it's a really, really great sign for England moving forward.
Now, with Ellen White out with COVID, she was on the bench today, but she didn't start. Alessia Russo's chance to start.
Brilliant.
And this goal, what do you make of it, Ian?
Fantastic finish. She's headed it back where it's coming from. And to be honest, she's worked tirelessly today. I thought she came on against Holland and done brilliantly. Could have scored, hit the bar, but she deserved that goal for her performance. I'm really pleased to see her really putting this kind of performance in so she can put that kind of pressure on Ellen. It shouldn't be a foregone conclusion that Ellen's starting simply because we know how capable she is in tournaments, because I think Alicia gives us some more energy up there. She linked up very well today. She's done brilliantly today.
I think any young forward watching that, I mean, Alessia Russo is a young forward, but any young forward watching that, that is the perfect header. That's a perfect number 9 header. Head it back where it's come from. You know, she's angled it well enough so the goal is out of the goalkeeper's reach. I think a really, really good number 9 performance from Alessia today.
Absolutely. I wonder what she thinks of her own performance. Let's hear from her now. She is speaking to Katie Shanahan.
Alessia, England had to be patient, but they got the job done in the end. Sum it up for us.
Yeah, I think, again, there was times in the first half where we could have scored some chances, but I think we were patient and we knew that after half-time we spoke about keeping the tempo high and keeping the ball moving, and I think we did exactly that in the second half. And again, subs came on as well and made more of a difference, so it was great.
It was a great team effort for your goal. How good is it when a move like that pays off?
Yeah, massive. I think, yeah, obviously as a striker you always want to score, but yeah, it was great, and the team put out a great performance, and sometimes it's not always going to be pretty and you just have to fight it out to get the win.
Next up is the Euros. The opening game is at Old Trafford. How much is that going to mean to you personally?
I think it's really special. Now we've done all the warm-up games, I think we can really get locked in and focused on that now. So, yeah, I can't say I've thought about it too much yet because we've obviously had 3 prep games, but now it's the next one up, so we're all really excited.
Is it coming home?
Haha, we'll see, we'll see.
Thanks, Alessia.
No
Good luck at
worries.
the Euros.
Thank you.
We've started those questions already. Is it coming home? You know I'm going to ask you that before we go off air. Listen, there were lots of other chances in the game, and this one, I mean, I just wish it went in. Lauren Hem, you called it. Do you call it audacious, even having a go at the volley here?
This is the sign of the confidence that Lauren Hemp has. First of all, amazing play from Chloe Kelly. The audacity to take this volley on the first time. That is, you know, that is a sign of a player that is on top of the world, confident, knows that she can try anything on the football pitch and it will come off. Great save there by the Swiss defender, but I love the courage to take that on. And you know, we saw a great volley from Hemp in the last game against Netherlands and went in, and she's done it again. I have to say, dubious penalty for me.
Very harsh.
You know, even though I'm glad we scored the penalty, but it doesn't look like a
very harsh penalty. I thought the one in the first half was a penalty, but this is a good penalty. Very well taken penalty. Which you'd expect. You know, she looked very confident stepping up. So. She played all right as well today.
Yeah, that's Georgia Stanway for 2-0. Beth England, she started the last game, and I remember speaking to you, Righty, saying she just needs a goal, doesn't she? She got her goal today.
Yeah, she did. It's a great ball in from Georgia. And, like, you get it on target, and that can happen. There's a lot of bodies in the way. Chloe Kelly does very well to dummy it on the line. Goalkeeper's got no chance, but that's what you've got to do, get the ball on target. It's a very, very good header. Headed it down, beautifully placed that was from her.
Beth had a few headers before that, and I think today we saw a Beth England where the team played more to her strengths. Her chances came with her head. She's one of the best in the country with her head. So it's good to see her scoring a header there and again, building her confidence, because she's going to be, you know, she's going to be part of the Euros, the players that come on maybe off the bench for the Euros as well.
Emma Hayes made a good point about that in commentary, saying, look, for the players, obviously, when you get substituted off, you're not happy about it, and obviously you're not really necessarily happy to start on the bench. But in the way that she is managing this team and keeping these rotations, you're keeping everyone happy.
Keeping everybody happy, and everybody coming off the bench. I think Annie made the point as well about knowing that you're probably going to get a chance, and when you come on, just do what you do, like Chloe Kelly came on again today and done brilliantly. Everybody who's come on has done brilliantly. I'm delighted for Jill Scott coming on, you know, and doing well.
Everybody looks like they feel valued, which, you know, from a coaching point of view is really important. This is, you know, again, great movement, great passing from Leah coming out the back. And again, Chloe Kelly, great delivery. And, you know, we've seen over many years Jill Scott doing that, you know, getting on the back end of it, tallest player on the pitch and scoring. She looked a bit shocked that it wasn't offside. But, you know, again, another player, Jill Scott, who's, you know, adds to that depth. I think actually Jill, she's probably going to get more minutes than we think in the Euros, because we do need that box-to-box midfielder. Our midfield is quite static, but great to see Jill there scoring goals.
I remember the manager saying that she's not just there to bring experience, because obviously she is the most experienced member of that squad, and she's been to majors and she knows how it works. But it was interesting that Serena said, look, she's in here because of what she can do on the pitch. She proved that today.
Well, she did, and you know, when we're trying to pick what midfield, you know, they tried to put Leah Williams in there alongside Kira Walsh. We know that Jill Scott's a natural number 8. but her name never gets mentioned as somebody who can play in there next to Kira. I don't understand why, but she's there for a reason. Hopefully she'll be able to play get some minutes in the Euros, because I think she'll be valuable. But again, what she's done, she's come on and she's shown that, you know what, I can get forward. And when you've got quality like Chloe Kelly's putting in, I can go in there and be that second strike and score a goal as a number 8.
As a manager, so you two now putting yourself in a position where Serena Wiegman's got, what, 6 days or less till the Euros starts. Are these the kind of problems you want to have?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do and you don't, because you want to go into the opening game with an established starting 11. I think that's what other nations do really well. It still seems like there's players that are fighting for their places, but I just think the depth of this team is going to be our strength. So whoever plays, it's fine, because the players that replace them are going to lift it to another level.
That's exactly why, Annie, I think that, yes, we don't know who the outright 11 could be, but at the same time, we've got such a strong squad that when people come off, we've seen how much difference they're making off the bench, so it kind of works in its way. Whoever they start, they know, OK, if it's not going right, bam, we'll bring them on, and it's working.
It isn't actually that easy. We know that because we've asked you to get your best 11 and your starting 11 for the Euros against Austria at Old Trafford, which is next week. And there are quite a few, I'd say, late changes for Ian Wright, in fact. We're going to do those after the break. Get more reaction. Out in Zurich as well, we will hear from the manager, Serena Wiegman, on that big 4-0 win. 3 friendlies played and 12 goals scored. And now it's all eyes on the Euros for the Lionesses. Returns with a double-header as Sardinia plays host to the Island X Prix. You can tune in next Thursday from 4 o'clock and Sunday the 10th of July from midday for all of the action over on ITV4. Well, Serena Wiegman had 3 friendlies and it's come out with 3 wins. We are just 6 days away from the Euros. Let's see how she's feeling about that win. She's with Katie Shanahan.
Serena, another good win for England. What did you learn from your team tonight ahead of the home Euros?
Yeah, indeed, very good results. We scored all the goals in the second half. I think that showed again that we have a very fit team. They got tired. We brought in some substitutes, and it also showed again that we don't play with 11 players. We have so many more players in our squad that we can make a change in the second half. So play patient.
Alessia's just said that England needs to be more ruthless in the first half. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, well, we started well. We had 3 big chances in the beginning of the game, and then it would have been easy to score those goals. But, yeah, we didn't. I think the keeper did a very good job, too. And after they got some chance, they got dangerous, so we have to... that can happen, too, but we have to do a little better. But I do think, yeah, we had to speed up the game the first half more. We were pretty slow. The ball tempo was too low, and then they can organize all the time. So... I think the second half we did a little better and they got a little tired.
After scoring 84 goals and only conceding 3 since you took over, could England be in a better position heading into a home Euros?
Well, we always have things to improve. I think we're in a very good place, but that will show in the Euros. So these are all friendlies, and it's very nice to play and to learn from it. But it really starts next Wednesday, and yes, I think we're in a very good place, but we still have to improve a couple of things.
Thanks, Serena. Best of luck at the Euros.
Thank you.
Serena Wiegman's smiling, and so she should, because so far, under her reign, they haven't been beaten. And of course, when you look at some of those opponents, they're teams that you would expect the Lionesses to beat because of the way the setups are in different countries. But the stats speak for themselves. 84 goals, only 3 conceded. You've got to be happy, haven't you, if you're Serena Wiegman after what she's seen? Yeah, you will be happy. But, like, when you look at those teams and the way we have beaten those teams, we should be beating those teams. But the way we've beaten them some of the times is a bit disappointing because we should have been more ruthless from the start. And we saw it again, even a week before the Euros. We're still seeing a little bit of not ruthless enough in front of goal. We've got to finish those games off. That's the only thing that's happened from the start till now. But other than that, it's been brilliant because it's fantastic for confidence. Brilliant for confidence.
in a home nation, going into your home Euros, it's fantastic confidence.
Now, we spoke before the break about the difficult job Serena has and whether or not she's going to know her best 11 yet heading into Austria, which is the opening game of the Euros. So we asked you two to basically put your Serena hat on and create your best 11 for the Euros, which is the Austria game, the opening game. Eni, this is your team. Talk us through it.
Yeah, this is a tough ask because there's so much talent in the team. I think a lot of questions for me have revolved around Leah Williamson. Either she plays next to Kira Walsh in midfield or in centre-back. I think, as you've seen tonight, she's really, really good at centre-back, plays some really great passes. I think you need a natural left footer at left-back, so I think it's, for me, Alex Greenwood is the best option going into left-back. And then the front three, I think, are dangerous. You know, you've got Lauren Hemp, who is top of her game right now, Ellen White, who always scores in major tournaments, and Beth Mead, although I was deliberate, you know, with that one, Beth Mead or Chloe Kelly, they've both played well over games. So that's the team I went with.
Ian Wright's team is very similar, apart from that front three.
Yeah, the front three, I've gone with Chloe Kelly. I think that Beth Mead coming off the bench will be amazing. I think that what we saw with Chloe Kelly in instances, especially one-on-one, she takes people on, even with his two people, and sometimes it's going to be tight and you need that, especially in the first half. You need to create chances, take the chances, and we know if we're struggling, you can always change her and Beth Mead over, but that's what I'd probably go with.
It was very, very tight with this team between both of you because you could have actually flipped your teams over and had each other's teams. You were deliberating that much and you were giving our graphics department a massive headache, Ian.
Well, Ian was.
He changed, and you weren't. He changed it with about a minute to go. So that gives you an idea of how close these starting lineups are and how big the competition is. When you're talking about Alicia Russo, heading into a big major tournament, we know that she's had her struggles with injury. Is it the experience that you want, or sometimes can you get with youth? Can you get this kind of brilliant naivety?
Yeah, you can. And I think that what we saw, especially coming on in the game against the Netherlands and in today's game with top quality, with higher quality, the quality was a lot better than before. She can deal with it. Her link-up play was good. She just needed goals. I would have no problem starting her because we know that Helen can come off the bench maybe and maybe, you know what I mean, we know her experience in it. But I would start her, and I'd start with Chloe Kelly because you want to get the crowd going. Someone like Chloe Kelly will get the crowd going in Manchester, get them going, and that's what we need. When you need people taking chances, that's what we're going to need.
I have to ask the question. It's not me that started it. Katie Shanahan started it. Is it coming home?
I don't even want to say those words.
Do you?
No, because if we go off the back of last year, we said a lot about coming home with the men's Euros, and it didn't come home.
It went wrong.
Italy, absolutely, you know.
All right, don't worry. I won't ask you again. Brilliant company. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Now, just a reminder, the Coral Eclipse this year has the makings of a classic as the best of the 3-year-old generation take on their elders in this Group 1 contest. Join Ed and the team at 1:25 on Saturday on ITV. The opening show gets underway at 9:30 on ITV4. Well, Serena has masterminded the perfect preparation for the Euros. All we can do now is wish her and the Lionesses the best of luck this summer, and we will see you back in September. Thank you so much for watching.
Daly hangs it in there. Hemp is arriving, so it's Russo. What a finish! Oh, it's a penalty. It's Stanway. It's in. It's 3. England have finished their preparation with a flourish.